Hi everyone, my name is Dana Healy. I'm a 20-year veteran of community media, and now I'm with Cablecast Community Media. So my most recent media center that I worked with was NineNorth, based out of Roseville, Minnesota. So it's a 9-city commission, and that will be the work that I'll be referencing within this presentation about earned income. NineNorth is a digital media production partner that serves cities, nonprofits, and government agencies that's really looking to connect with their communities. So let's get into it. So in 2021, NineNorth served 70 government agencies and nonprofits as paying customers. Some of them included Ramsey County. We've done state of addresses with the state of Minnesota. So earned income, what is earned income? Earned income refers to any work or income that a person or company receives for work that they have done. So as nonprofits, 501c3s specifically, this can be based on mission-related sales or services. So I'd like to give you a little background on my earned income journey with NineNorth. So in 2017, we earned about $148,000 in earned income. So think of the services, like production services, things like that. In 2018, we were able to grow that incrementally to about $158,000. 2019, we grew substantially, $228,000. 2020, we kind of flatlined. Some things happened, right? So 2020, we flatlined a little bit at $221,000. But the final numbers for 2021 is $341,000. So you can see that we ramped up, and it's basically started turning into a flywheel. So this is the numbers at the bottom are the percentage of our earned income versus our entire budget. So that's the whole purpose of diversifying your income, right? You want to subsidize off of franchise fees and PEG fees so you can become more self-reliant. And you can see we started out in 2017 at 9% of our total budget, and we ended with 30% over the course of 5 years. So that is something that we're hoping to continue to grow as well. So like I said, in 5 years, we've earned in total over $1 million. So as a nonprofit, I'm really proud of the team for that. And based on our growth, we averaged about 26% growth year over year. So today, I will tell you how to develop an earned income strategy. First, assess your skills, assess the market, eliminate, and automate. So throughout the presentation, I'll cite a case study that we did at NineNorth, relate this to a process that you can adapt at your own media center, and then a quick takeaway at the end of each section. So assess your skills. Each community is vastly different, right? Even talking to everybody here at this particular conference, everybody is bringing something different to the table. There's really no one size fits all in what you're doing. So let's take a moment for a little self-assessment. What is your media center known for? Anyone wanna raise their hand on this? What do you feel like your media center or city is really known for in the community?
We're the source of information for local, hyper-local news and information.
Perfect.
Activities.
Awesome. So any others? Anything else? So some examples could be, are you exceptional with kids camps? Do you have an Emmy award-winning program? Do you have a really robust internship program? So another thing you want to self-assess is, what is your team really good at? Are they highly technical? Do you have a bunch of artists that really just want to get out there and edit and create those Emmy award-winning programs? And this is really important. What is a challenge happening within your community right now? Is engagement up or down? are nonprofits struggling with fundraising? How can you interject what you do in order to speak to that challenge? And then finally, can these be fashioned into a service or product that's mission focused to what you're doing as a whole? So at NineNorth, we were known for being highly technical, very talented engineers. We had 2 production trucks. We work with our cities directly. So the common problem that our community was having was a lack of engagement, a lack of information from our cities to the residents. So, and this was exacerbated by the closing of local papers, which I'm sure many of you probably have experienced that in your own communities where you have the news deserts. So at NineNorth, our service menu focuses on cities getting information to residents, city meeting coverage, webcasting, social media, and community engagement videos. So this menu of service is based on the needs that our community had and combined with the prominent skill set of what our team brought to the table. So make a note here. Does your service actually solve a challenge in your community? So I've made this mistake numerous times where I'm like, this is a great idea. Everybody's gonna want this, right? And no, because it doesn't solve a challenge within your community. So your key takeaway, self-awareness is vital to unearth your strengths. Ask your peers. Ask, especially in environments like this, what is my station good at? What does your station hear about my station? So the next piece, assess the market. Let's say you have a great idea for an earned income source. Maybe you're already executing on it and you want to maximize it, right? The next step is to truly assess the market. We got overzealous, like I said, about one of our services, and we'd run out and I would just start selling it, right? I've been guilty to this probably too many times. So the market analysis is really understanding your customers, understanding what they need, their values, what makes them tick, understanding your competitors, and business risks and opportunity within the market that you're serving. So let's talk about your customers. The more you can hone in on your target audience, the easier selling just becomes. Depending on your service or product, some demographics that you could consider would be income, location, occupation, education, age, purchasing habit, as well as genders. So then identify your customer needs. Who are your customers and what challenges are they experiencing? So let me put it in context for NineNorth. We identified our customers that we were trying to get to as city decision makers. One of our services was for cities. On our service to cities, the city administrators basically sign the check. They're the ones that say, yes, we want to work with you, right? So that must be our target market. Easy peasy, no problem. We held a series of market research interviews and quickly found out that our customer market was not city administrators. So we were actually serving city clerks. So city clerks were the ones telling the city administrators, no, we really want our meeting process to be a lot easier, and I don't want to be behind a camera and doing all these meeting agendas and all this stuff, so let's bring in NineNorth. So this demographic is typically women, ages 45 to 60, married, college educated, and with an extensive government background. This had changed our whole marketing approach just on this one little tidbit, because we assumed that the city administrators, the ones signing the checks, signing off, were the ones making all the choices on the product needs. So your key takeaway, Hold market research interviews and ask the same questions to multiple active, potential, or lost customers. I can't stress how important market research interviews are. They save you a lot of time. They change your marketing approach completely. So a little pro tip, if you do it on Zoom, record it on Zoom, of course, ask permission, and you can get those Zoom meetings transcribed at like a quick transcription, automatic transcription thing for a couple bucks. And then you can highlight keywords, key phrases that your target market is saying, and you can contextualize that information back to your customer. Identify your competitors. Who is directly competing with you? If you take on the general service of media production, right, it's likely your competitors are going to be everyone from big production houses to small independent producers, right? To identify your competitors, perform a SWOT analysis on them. Why would a customer pick this business over yours? And what are the threats around it? And from there, you can start to develop a growth plan leaning into your advantages. Oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself there. So for NineNorth, our competitors were actually the cities themselves. So essentially, our own customers were the competitors. They could invest in in-house staff to be executing their media production, their video, their meeting coverage, or they could outsource it to our entity. The more we understood what motivated the cities on why they would want to outsource versus why they would want to keep something in-house, the more we could develop messaging to appeal to them. So we needed to prove that we could do it better, less expensive than they can do it themselves. So a key takeaway, understanding your competitors' weaknesses will better equip you to solve your customers' challenges. And also note, your competitors come in different forms. Like ours, our competitors are only our customers. So, and that's actually the case for a lot of groups. So another piece you want to consider is eliminate. As nonprofits, we need to our services to align with our mission, right? So you need to clearly convey this to your team in a consistent way, and that's always through messaging. You also need to understand what jobs support, what gigs, what projects that you take on support your mission, and what gigs don't support your mission. By clearly defining this across all levels, so everybody in your organization, whether you're a one-man band or you have 15 employees, everybody needs to understand what project is something aligned with your mission versus not. This will help you avoid what we call mission drift. So our mission at NineNorth, we produce community-focused digital media that educates and engages our residents. So to assess incoming projects, we asked if it's relevant to our community, does it educate someone, and is it a service within our core service menu? Relevant to the community, educate someone, and a service within our core menu. So at NineNorth, we do not create productions for businesses. That's just a hard line. We don't do commercials. We don't, if you are a dentist that comes in and wants to do a spot, we say, sorry, no, we can't do that. We're not a production house. We actually have a roster of our competitors, freelancers, that we will then tell the business to, hey, have you worked with Kyle? Kyle's fantastic. And we make that connection for them. So the business isn't leaving like, oh, I didn't get anything I wanted from that organization. They got a great connection. And then we're actually giving projects to this freelancer who, by the way, if we're overbooked on something, will then come back and say, hey, I can help you guys out. So that has been very fruitful. So know when to say no. This is going to increase your staff capacity and stop mission drift and burnout. When I first got to NineNorth, it was actually CTV North Suburbs at the time, we were saying yes to everything. That team was so burnt out, just running around and it's because, when you're in a panic mode, trying to earn all this income, you think more is more is more, but really it's not. Oh, I love this author, James Clear. If anybody is a book reader here, Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So as you're beginning your earned income journey, your systems are going to be stressed. Project management, accounting and billing, and in order to grow, you need to build those systems as you start to bring on these new projects, and that will take time and money. So some communication tools. Consider Slack. I'm sure you all are part of Slack now. Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts. These are some of the communication ones. Consider some project management tools. Trello. Anyone use Trello? Yeah? Okay. Airtable. Oh, yes. Yay. We got some Airtable. That's my favorite. So if you all want to nerd out, we can talk about that. Project management tools like Monday. So all of these are really vital as you start to take on more projects. And this will also include tasks that you can outsource. What are tedious, repetitive tasks that you can offload so you can increase your staff capacity? So at NineNorth, we knew what we were good at, and we knew what we had to punt because it took up too much time. We partnered with entities. For example, we partnered with a city, a local municipality, to help us with our invoicing. And now they recently started doing payroll. So that's actually another 4 hours a week that we were able to discover, and now that we can use on productions. So identifying those different things you can outsource is really helpful. We also partner with other media centers. So there's a surrounding media center that's really good at master control and quality control. So we worked with them to look at all of our meetings, and they did the same with us. So we're humble enough to know when we aren't good at everything, and we have to say, I'm not good at this, you're great at this, so you can come and take this off of my plate. So partner with other entities, outsource invoicing and payroll if you can. Outsource master control, that's a nice easy one to do. So the key takeaway, to grow your income, you need to invest, and that can look like outsourcing things. So my name is Dana Healy. I'm the new VP of Cablecast Community Media. I love talking about earned income strategies. So if you ever want to connect on LinkedIn, please hit me up, and I'm going to pass it off to my colleagues here for the next portion of the panel. All right, here you go. Thank you. Yeah. Well, once you get set up, does anybody have any questions?
Isn't it fun to talk about money?
I love talking about money.
We got all quiet in here.
All right, great.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Dana. A few things you said, I'm like, oh, that's kind of what I had written down too. So yes, I'm Rachel Packard. I'm from Sun Prairie Media Center. I've actually been with the Media Center since 2001. So today I'm going to specifically give you some examples of things that we do for funding above and beyond the franchise fees. Some of the things I'm going to mention have been in place for many, many years since the program started. And some things have just started in the past 5 to 10 years and some 5 to 10 days. So you'll hear about all those things. So I'm going to cover memberships, sponsorships, workshops, Kids for Crew, our friends group, and a business partnerships. So memberships, we started memberships, I think in about 2018. I'm going to explain what is included in memberships and what are the additional benefits that people get from it. So memberships allow producers to have access to Sun Prairie Media Center studios, equipment, editing workstations, and they have the ability to submit programming to be aired on KSUN, Kids 4, and 103.5 FM, the Sun Community Radio. They have access to workshops and Kids 4 classes at special member rates and much more. Now, the memberships are valid for 365 days, and they are tax deductible. We have different levels of memberships. We have a friend membership, which is actually just the lowest rate we have, and you can just email and submit email us programs, and we'll put them on the air for you. You don't have access to like the studios or anything like that. All of the other memberships I'm going to mention have access to the studios and the equipment. So we have student/senior membership. They're priced the same. An individual membership, a family membership, a nonprofit organization membership, and a non-resident membership. Now, when I say non-resident, I mean beyond the Sun Prairie area school district, not the city of Sun Prairie limits. So we do go within the school district. When we decided to implement this, we did allow our current producers to be grandfathered in for the first year, so they didn't have to start paying until the following year. And then anybody who came on new had to pay right away. Some added benefits to being a member. You get the really cool shirt. So we have a member here, Tim, who is wearing our shirt. It says media creator on the front, and you'll notice there is a business logo on the back, which we'll get to as well. We also put their name on an electronic bulletin board. Of course, we send them a thank you letter, all that good stuff. And again, their donation is tax deductible. Program sponsorships. So we have all these programs that we air on KSUN, The Sun, even Kids 4. Some examples that we try to get sponsorships for include the Sun Prairie High School sporting events, Sun Prairie graduation ceremonies, any original programming on KSUN, and any original programming on The Sun, the radio station. What's included in this are the business name, the tagline, the logo, website at the beginning and end of the program. The business name and tagline is also mentioned during live broadcasts. So the sporting events are live, not the graduation. We don't stop graduation to announce business names, but the sporting events is when the information is given during the broadcast. Programs are also available for on-demand replay, like I'm sure many of you have, but there again, the tagline, the business is sitting on the program, married to the program. The added benefits for that. So the business name is also again listed on the electronic bulletin board that we air. The sponsors are mentioned in any press releases we do. So if we're promoting that we're airing the sporting events, we'll mention the businesses that support it. And again, tax deductible donation. So we offer workshops also at the Media Center. Some examples of the workshops are equipment training, and we also offer summer workshops for kids. So what's included in this? We have specific training on equipment. The workshops we offer for equipment training is just a one-time fee, but again, a reduced rate for any members. We offer on-location production workshop, in-studio production, post-production, and radio production. The summer workshop, we put together 4 weeks of classes. There's a session in the morning, a session in the afternoon, just pretty much all through the month of July. Obviously, students have to pay for that, and they're week-long classes. Well, 4 days, but it's a week, basically. The added benefits for this is that members, once they're trained, they get access to the equipment. Workshops, the students are provided with a USB of all the media that they've created, and it's a tax-deductible donation. So our Kids 4 program, and this is the program that's been around from the very get-go, so it's a channel dedicated specifically to children, so for kids by kids. It's a media literacy class that's held after school for 4th through 8th grade. Obviously, there's a fee with this, reduced rate if you're a member, but what's included is that we give you a curriculum of classes. They're quote-unquote taught each week. Equipment and specific time and space in the studio and in the television and the radio is set aside for those students every week. The added benefits of this is that the students get a t-shirt. You can see several of them pictured here with their t-shirts. So one student designs it. It's like a competition, and then we select a winner, and then we put all of their names on the back. And can't see it. It's pretty small, but at the very bottom. There's a business logo. So we also we get some businesses to support the t-shirts so that it offsets the cost for us. So again, once the students are done with the program every year, they get a USB drive of all the media they've created. We do hold a welcome party for them and their families and an end of the year party, which is always fun to do with kids. We also have a friends group. We've had a friends group for a long time, but it was really revamped and revitalized a couple years ago. So it's the Friends of the Sun Prairie Media Center. So the benefits of this, it gives volunteer opportunities for supporters of Sun Prairie Media Center, gives an opportunity to organize and participate in fundraisers and sit on the board for the group. The picture you see here is actually an event that they organized. It was held over on the radio station, and for this one, the board recruited local donations from businesses, and then they had some trivia questions. People called in, and they could win that. That helped to raise awareness about our station, not necessarily like dollar amounts, but raise awareness, and then we ended up getting some memberships out of that. So the added benefits of being on the Friends group is that you get recognized in the press releases and any events that we're all promoting. And you get to feel good. Who doesn't feel good when they're in a Friends group? I mean, you know. So business partnerships. So yes, we do offer this as well as as a large sponsorship, and we've just secured the partnership with the Bank of Sun Prairie, so they'll be coming up next to speak. What's included in this is name, tagline, logo, website at the beginning and end of sports programs again, business name listed as a sponsor on the radio station. So at the top of the hour for radio station, for those of you who don't know, you have to review your call sign and everything. So we also list who is sponsoring the radio station. The business logo on the front of the SPMC app. So if you have our Sun Prairie Media Center app, if you don't have it, I really recommend you get it. It's very good. But as you open it up, this will be the first page you see. And you can see that the Bank of Sun Prairie is also listed there. So the added benefits of this agreement actually is multiple mentions of the business name in press releases and during broadcasts. Business name will be on the electronic bulletin board. Again, tax-deductible donation. This is an agreement we just came into finalize with the Bank of Sun Prairie, so as that will probably evolve to even more and more mentionings of their name. So just two more things I wanted to quick touch on. So the pricing is very similar to what Dana said. I completely agree. You have to base I could give you all the numbers that we have for memberships and all that stuff, but it really has to be based on your community and your needs. And then I also did want to mention that for our future plans, we also in 2022 had in our budget to hire a strategic planner, and we have committed to working with Loving Venti, and that process will be starting in the next couple months, and they will help us look at maybe a 5 to 10 year plan of how we can work at continuing to raise money and other things that we might need to improve on at our station to help us be more viable. Any questions? Oh, yes.
You guys have a great list of stuff that you've done. How in the world do you manage all of that on top of your day-to-day production?
Oh, well, good question. So we are very fortunate in Sun Prairie. We do have great support from our city. We do have four full-time staff, and we also have several high school students who are part-time, and they help us as well. So, yeah. Well, we really, and actually Bill is a volunteer producer for us. So, I mean, the actual productions of a lot of our things come from volunteers. And obviously the kids produce things too. So we're not super heavy in the productions. We're just more into educating people, getting stuff on the air for them and all that thing. Yeah, Will.
How many volunteers like Bill do you think you have?
Well, I will tell you, the kids program, just during the school year alone, gets about 55 to 65 kids. So then we also get, 50 kids in the summer. So that's, little people out, producing and learning things, which is great. And then a solid,
85 is the number we've been throwing around?
Yes.
Volunteers?
I mean, we have, and they volunteer at different levels, of course. But yeah, we have very active.
How many is it?
What do you think, Jimmy?
35, 30. Go ahead, Bill. I was going to say 35, so.
Well, the salesman or the realtor says 36, but he's the banker, so we'll say 35.
Big enough for 2 high schools. I will tell you that. Yes. Mike.
So, if I can kind of blend the two presentations, the challenge that I see that you expressed here is all of the things, all of the ways that people can engage, and the time it takes to get people into the funnel, if you will, to kind of use that metaphor. How are you regularizing this so that it's easy? It's not custom. I mean, people want to customize things very often when it comes to this kind of work, and that's the type of thing that can often take the longest time to get to an agreement. So I'm just kind of curious about that perspective as we kind of work the list.
Work the list. I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of that stuff, other than the pricing, and stuff, or the Kids 4 stuff, Jeff has worked at building a lot of that. And he does a lot of market research. He builds relationships with people in the community. So, yeah, it's kind of an even balance. And, I mean, yeah, like they said, if we're in a community of 36,000 and someone else is in a community of 3,600, it's very different. So, I mean, I do completely understand that. But we have been very, very strong with our volunteer base from even when I started. So I think that's what really helps us, drives us. Yeah.
May I ask your comment?
Oh, okay.
For our organization, it starts with leadership and Jeff Robbins, and giving the support and freedom to the 3 other employees that are there. Rachel's she is Kids 4. I mean, that is her baby. Mara handles the video and the editing. She makes sure that happens. Colin is radio. And then the Friends group, the producers, we are given so much freedom. I swear, I talk about it on the radio all the time. I can't believe I'm in a toy store, that I'm not in a toy store, because I've got hundreds of $1,000s worth of equipment that I get to play with every day. And they give me a key to the toy store, so I can get in there in the morning. So it's it's well-rounded with the group, and there's a lot of freedom and trust and respect. And if we didn't have those 4 key people, we couldn't do it. But the volunteers also step up, and there are a slew of them that we will step up to raise money or whatever we need to do to get it done.
Do a lot of them do production?
Sure.
Like take cameras to events and stuff?
Like every one of them.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm doing farmers market that I do every Saturday. Can't wait. One of my favorite things to do. Out of the studio, on the street, talking to people.
Just quick, I mean, we have very simplified the sports I'm talking about, and I'm talking about sports that happen inside, because we provide radio for the outside ones. But inside, we use the Huddle Camel, probably like a lot of you do, and we have one guy. He hooks it up to the laptop, and he's also calling the game. So, and that person is a volunteer. So we're very fortunate on that. But you had a question.
Yes, I'd like to know more about the sponsorships. Tell me the lowest level to the highest level.
Okay. So, well, the Bank of Sun Prairie is a huge, huge sponsorship for us. So I'll let Jimmy talk about that. But the, we have graduation coming up. We will, do the business and logo at the beginning and all that stuff. We don't interrupt the graduation for announcing them. That one's at $300. Okay. The baseball, softball that we cover, which is just a radio broadcast, that is multiple mentions of your business and tagline. That's $300. We also offer like a fall and winter sports coverage, which is football and boys and girls basketball. Guaranteed home games. If we can get any feed for an away game, we'll take it over YouTube and try to put that out with an announcer. There's a package deal for that. I think it's $2,500. Okay, yeah. Or you can say, I just want to sponsor boys basketball. I just want to sponsor boys football, and those are lower prices. Now the Kids 4 program, we charge each kid $150 for an entire school year, and if they're a non-member, it's $180. So.
How many kids do you have in it?
We have between 55 and 65 a year. So the workshops, summer workshops, about $100 a week for a workshop. You know, if you're a member, again, cheaper.
Okay, that's for sports. What about for a regular program?
We are starting to do that. We have a producer on the TV side right now that is actually getting her own sponsor. And I don't have the exact numbers on that. That's a new thing. So sports, we have sponsorships for, Bill, what's that?
Underwriting.
Yes, underwriting for the, you can underwrite like a radio show, and we have pricing for that. What?
I believe it's $300 for 3 months. You get 90 spots per month on the radio. If you break it down, it's $1 a spot, and you can't do that with any of your big channels and all that. It is priceless.
So we are low power FM, but the other thing with the beauty of the internet, we have an app, you can hear us anywhere. So I don't want to take up all of Jimmy's time. Okay, I'll be here afterwards if you would happen to have questions. And sorry, I don't have, some of the hard numbers, but you can ask me about Kids 4. No. Oh yes, oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah, I was like all ready to, okay, let me just get you set up here, sorry.
So what am I hitting to advance? Down?
Why didn't it go full slide?
That's good. You can
Oh, I
say.
see it, okay. Right, left.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Well, she stole my opening about what the heck would a banker be doing here. So I appreciate it. Glad to be here with you. Really, I think my role here is to provide you with an outsider's perspective about how community media has impacted our business. But, to start, I guess, hey, we're not going anywhere here. You Jimmy proofed it.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, there we go.
Why isn't it escaping? Okay, let me try. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Oh. You might. Did it switch? Oh. Okay. I'm
there
sorry.
you go.
You must just have to click there. I'm sorry.
So obviously, first start with who we are. So we are a community bank in Sun Prairie. We have 4 locations, 3 in Sun Prairie, 1 in Cottage Grove. As you can see, we've been around a couple of days. 125 years this year. We've been in the community of Sun Prairie. 90 great colleagues we work with, serving over 10,000 customers. So we are a mid-sized community bank, so $556 million in assets. And as you guys know, pretty competitive environment we're in. Fair or unfair, with the way some financial institutions operate, but we're in it no matter what. And I think you have a similar challenge with that. And I think Dana hit on that in her presentation. And that was when she was talking about competitors. You don't have a choice. You just got to figure out a way. And I think the Bank of Sun Prairie, we're pretty good at figuring out a way to compete, which is critical. So, the way I think about it, from a member of the business community, first and foremost is about value, right? Because that's what's going to pull the business community in, is the value. And it really, as I was putting this together, it's like there aren't any silver bullets, right? I don't know that I'm going to tell you a lot that you probably don't already know or you haven't already thought of, but with the Sun Prairie Media Center, it really starts with people. Jeff Robbins, absolutely the right person to come in and lead this in our community, and he's got a great staff of people. that he's been able to put together over the years, which is I'm gonna back into the answer to some of the questions that you guys had already. And they've really focused on quality. And as a business, as somebody that's running a business in the community, quality is what we're all about, and flexibility, and that is the central point of their value proposition that they bring out to the market, is that quality and that flexibility. Where do you find the volunteers? If you can demonstrate quality and flexibility in the community, other quality people want to be part of that, like Bill Baker, like Dan Presser, like some of the great volunteers that we have. I'm sure I'm missing out many, but that's really where it starts. It's a people business, and it really starts with creating something valuable, and other people want to be part of something valuable, and that's why you see the volunteers that we have, the quality of the volunteers that we have at the media center. It's just, again, it's not a silver bullet, but that's the answer. It's really based on people. Our media center has been very innovative. Sun Prairie has been a rapidly growing community for a long time now. And Bill hit the nail on the head. In order for there not to be complete disruption in our community, you have to have that central point of an information hub, and the media center has been that. Are you're passionate and you want to know what's going on with economic development? Well, you can go online and watch not only a council meeting, but you can watch a planning commission meeting. You could watch a community development authority meeting. You want to listen? Well, we got a radio station for that. We got programming for, you want to get to know some of the different leaders in the community. There's programming for that. Bill hosts a show about the real estate market, so if you got an interest there, which everyone should be tuning in these days. So there's programming for that. So, but really, the thing that has really drawn us in has been the pivot. I mean, they're always pivoting. They're never resting on their laurels in that media center, and that's appealing to any business, especially a small business in your community. I'm sure some of the markets you're in are probably pretty small, but I'm here to tell you that out of sight, out of mind. So just because you don't think an opportunity is there doesn't mean an opportunity isn't there. I'm engaged with the media center. I think we have great people, and I find it amazing that every time we do a project with them, I'm still shocked about how great it turned out. And how do you exceed those expectations when you already know that it's going to be good, but they find a way to do it, and that's something that's important to us. So the next thing I want to talk a little bit about is, well, there's a picture of Bill. See, I appreciate the $20, Bill. No, just kidding. So here's why we're in it with them, right? Value, flexibility, and collaboration. So tremendous value. I think I'm beating the heck out of that as I'm up here talking. That's what they've been able to demonstrate. It's one thing to be able to say it. It's another thing to be able to demonstrate it. And it's brought in a group of people that are like-minded and have that same passion. 7.5 years ago, our bank decided we need to make a big change. So we're in this fast-growing community, a lot of change going on in the community, and we're going to take the financial institution that's at the time been there 118 years, and we're going to completely change our business model. That was a big change, for a business that's been in the community for 118 years. But the bigger challenge for me, as the guy coming in that was hired 7.5 years ago to lead that for the organization, was how do we not lose the people that have stood by us all those years. Because it's going to be different. And the Media Center helped us do that. A number of different ways. So, I mean, we utilize, obviously, the marketing services, as you kind of see, but we're video. We're a sponsor of the radio station, but it's really helped us get our message out there so people can see that, yeah, you might be a bank that's underwent a lot of change, but at the foundation hadn't changed. I'm thankful for all the people that have led the bank prior to my arrival, because I get to enjoy that foundation that they build, and the people in our community get to see that, while it is a little bit different, still the same mission. And the Media Center has really helped us tell our story. We've done that through, a situation like, we have the naming rights on our new football stadium. So Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium at Ashley Field. We had to produce a video for that. And Jeff and volunteers come in and help us produce a video for that. And there's many people working behind the scenes on that. And as I walked through the stadium, who helped you do that video? What company did you hire to do that video? Oh, the Sun Prairie Media Center. Really? So as much as you think people know what you do, they don't know what you do unless you're telling them and telling them and telling them and telling them, because it got people's attention, because it was a high quality video. That's just one example of, they've done on spot location, live broadcasts from some of our events. We partnered on different things like, the sponsorship that Rachel was talking about. We're involved in a lot of things, but we're involved because of value, and the value that the Media Center has created, and the great people like Rachel and Mara and Jeff and the team, and then the great volunteers that came with it. I mean, as a business, that's the value that we're seeing, and that's the value we want to be a part of. It's really created a win for our bank. It certainly has created a win for our community, because to be honest with you, I don't know how you can live in Sun Prairie and not be well informed because of the Sun Prairie Media Center. It's all there. It's all there, and and when you look at what happened in the pandemic, they changed their business model. They're implementing these mobile units, changing the way that they're filming indoor and outdoor meetings and things of that nature, and Sun Prairie News was born, and if you want to know what's going on as it relates to Sun Prairie and the news, well, they got something for that too. I think a lot of places say I got an app for that. Well, they got something for pretty much anything, and it really started with the people and the focus on value and flexibility, and that's how they've done it. And I think that is a universal business model. I mean, coming from a community banker where we have banks that are 80 million in assets, and heck, there are banks that think they're community banks that are 7-8 billion in assets, right? It works on some level, and if you got questions, pick the phone up. You need help, wondering what your how do you approach a business customer? Jeff's a good resource. Call me. I'd be more than willing to say, here's some things that we've tried. Here's the stuff that's worked. But at the end of the day, it starts with value in people. And that's what I mean by saying, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know already, but you just have to demonstrate value. If you demonstrate value, you're going to have a well-developed media center like we have in Sun Prairie. So, any questions? Yeah.
How do you obviously, as a community bank, you sponsor donations, how do you value, how do you set a number on what you're going to donate as a sponsor to that group or that group? I mean,
Well, we have a committee,
yeah.
right? In general, a lot of organizations, set a budget of what, 0.5% of earnings. We reinvest 3% of our earnings. So we, and from a volunteerism perspective, we're about 21 hours per employee per year in terms of the amount of volunteerism that we do. So, it's every organization has a number. The $1 million question, I think, for you is, how do I get my fair share of that number?
Well,
Right?
or how do I increase what we've been asking over the years? And, okay, we increase the amount of product we give out and the amount of mentions we give out
Uh-huh.
to our community bank. It shows set up the budget. How do you go in and say, okay, now we've been doing this X amount more, be able to
Yeah.
increase your,
I think
hard
it,
to make that ask.
I think it,
Everybody in the community's got their hands up.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we on average probably have 12 to 15 requests every month. We meet every month. It's probably 12 to 15 requests. But it really comes down to, are you meeting with the business annually, and what is it about? So Jeff has done a good job of saying, Jimmy, what's the bank's priorities? And then he's good at interweaving, hey, this is how the media center can help. But he's always making the ask. Not in an annoying kind of way, but it's just kind of a, yeah. It's, I mean, the media center is they are an extension of our marketing department at the bank. I mean, that's really how it's viewed, because of, I don't feel like Jeff's ever trying to sell me anything. He's smooth, but it's about the partnership. Bill?
Can you mention the new partnership program that was just approved and share the information?
Sure.
They'd like to know about it.
So what we've done is we just signed a new 5-year agreement with the media center. It's got some video production in there, so they're going to produce up to 5 videos for us. Obviously, some advertising, and Rachel kind of talked quite a bit about that. We're going to be the sponsor of the Kids 4 sponsorship, the program Rachel's running there, and then the closed caption sponsorship. So we're doing some things there, but I don't mind telling you. I mean, our sponsorship is it's $100,000. So back into how much value I have to see into that for that to make my ROI work, right? So there's a lot of value there, and not only are we donating something over those 5 years, right? But we're also getting something in return, right? And some of that as an organization you could see, and some you can't, right? It's like, okay, how much of that sponsorship is brand awareness? If you got a formula, let me know what it is, because it's hard for a business to say, okay, 20% of this is going to be brand awareness.
I think we got to wrap up there.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.